Hey guys, welcome back to Marketing Food Online. So one of the most important and first steps that you'll ever take in having a food business is, what do you name your business? And how can I come up with a name that's catchy, easy to remember, and is very short in length? And I'll tell you why. You'll need to know that here on Marketing Food Online, guys. Okay, so I get this this question quite frequently, and I wanted to bring it up in a video, and I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how to create your company's name. Now, that is one of the most important parts of your business. And why is that one of the most important parts? Well, keeping in mind that when customers want to remember the name of your business because they love your product or your service, they're going to want to remember something that's really easy, really catchy, and short. When you start getting into too long of a name, it's not going to be easy for anybody to remember your products, okay? Also, one of the biggest factors is when you get to the internet and you have an e-commerce business and you transition your brick and mortar or local business into a much bigger e-commerce type of store, you want to find a domain name. That's the www.domainname.com. You want to find one that's really catchy and very short. The shorter, the better. And what you want to do is find out what exactly it is that you do, and then figure out a way to create a name around that. So if, let's say, you made jams and jellies, you probably don't want to say Susie's world famous jamandjellies.com, because that is way too long, okay? You might want to say susiesjams.com or susiejam.com or something to that effect, okay? You don't necessarily have to use a name, don't get me wrong. I'm just giving you an example of how short it should really kind of be. My website actually ended up being just thebrittlebox.com. I was trying to figure out brittle.com and such, but some of these, of course, domain names are taken, so it becomes a little bit more of a challenge to kind of figure out how short it should be. Also, when you go to file your papers of incorporation and you become a company, either an LLC or you classify yourself as a C Corp or S Corp and all that good stuff, that's a whole other video, you want to keep your name kind of short and sweet. So I'm going to come up with just a couple tricks for you to kind of brainstorm and get the creative juices going to figure out what kind of a name would be good for your business, okay? So let me just scoot you back a little bit here. All right, so coming up with a name, you want to be short. We've already established why we want to have a short name, right? Now, the other good thing is that when you have a shorter name and it's not so elongated, that when you make labels, you create a logo, you want to create a brand based around an image or a logo or a picture of some type, you don't want to have an enormously long name wrapped around the label. So if it's like Susie's Candies, fantastic. You know, it's short and sweet, to the point. It tells you what the customer tells them what it is that you make. Tells them the name of the company. Susie's Candies is easy to put on a label. It's not a huge long sentence. I actually had a client recently, I believe it was about 2 or 3 months ago. She needed some help coming up with a name for her company. So I was working with her about that, and her first idea, and it's not a matter of it being good or bad, guys. There's nothing to do with that. It just has to do with just being something that's easy to remember, short and sweet and to the point. So it was really elongated. It was about 5 or 6 words, and that was way too long. We actually were able to get it down to 2, okay? I would honestly say if you were exceeding more than about 3 to 4 words, I would probably try to figure out a way to shorten it, okay? Even if it happens to be a nickname, maybe it's a nickname like if it's you have a popcorn company and it's Pop's Popcorn. You know, something short and sweet like that, that's really catchy, easy to remember too, okay? So the shorter the better, easy to remember, okay? Make it easy for everybody to remember it. The thing about, like, if you hear some of the best names out there, best name companies are one word. Target, Walmart, Sears, Amazon, etc. It's not Amazon sells a whole bunch of stuff everyone buys from, you know, it's nothing like that. Walmart has a million things to choose from.com. That's not really catchy. It's not something nobody's going to remember. But one word, if you can get it to that, that's even better, okay? Pretty much a lot of the large corporations all over the planet really stick to either one or at the most 2 words that can create the actual brand name itself, okay? So keep that in mind. Easy to remember. It's nice and short. It's going to be great for your website. Okay? Even if you don't have a website, keep this in mind. You start a business locally, that's great, and you grow that, and then you want to get into the realm of e-commerce and you want to get online. Even if you are selling locally, as I always mention in some of my videos, even if you're just local, you need to have a website. But your website can't have 15 different words to explain who you are, because the website is not going to be easy to remember. So the shorter, the better. There's a lot of domain names that incorporate either a color in a name, like blues chocolates, reds barbecue sauce, and so on and so on. And when you do a search, you will find something that matches what you're looking for. Definitely take advantage of it and buy it, okay? I'll do a couple of other videos, and I'll show you some different places that you can buy domain names. And remember, of course, the domain name is the name of your website. Now, trying to buy a domain is a little bit of a trick, and it's just a challenge, because there's a lot of other people out there who actually have the same or similar type of domain name, and you end up not being able to get a .com extension, okay? So keep in mind, you're great for your website. Even if you don't have one, down the road, you will have a website. Short and sweet, easy to remember. And lastly, if you can do it, one word or two, okay? One or two words at the most, okay? When you start, like I said before, exceeding that, it becomes a little bit harder to remember, and no one's going to know what that is. So with that being in mind, I just wanted to do a really quick one. I wanted to answer that question because I had a lot of subscribers. It's not something that really needs to have a drawn-out explanation. I kind of covered basically what you need to think about. Keep these aspects, these little things in mind when you're coming up with a name, and try to keep it short and sweet and to the point, and that's going to be a benefit in everything you do, okay? Your packaging, your customers to remember, website, etc. So with that being said, I hope you guys appreciate that. If you do, please give me a big thumbs up. I thank you guys as well for being subscribers and always checking out my new videos. I have a big, lengthy it's one of six. I posted one of the six videos in the series about UPC codes, about the barcodes. I've got 5 more coming out that's going to explain the rest of them and tell you where you can actually buy them, because you need to be really careful about where you buy your barcodes from, because there are some that are not legit and there are some that are. So take care, guys. Thank you.